All set.
I want to say, hold on, wait, let me make sure that you can share. Hold on, here we go.
Excellent. Thank you, Cornelius. I need to first thank you for inviting me. I'm grateful to be here. Thank you, Sharks. Thank you, Shark Pool community. I have massive respect for this community. So I'm honored to be here, and I'm looking forward to presenting to you this evening a deal that my partners and I are working on in Nashville, Tennessee. This is a 145-door Class B asset in Nashville, and I look forward to talking to you about it this evening. Of course, we have to start off with our disclaimer. This is something our lawyers always require us to share with our audience. So if you have any questions about this disclaimer, I'm not going to ask you to read it now, but please be sure to refer to it in the deck, and you'll get that after this presentation. If you sign up in our portal, you'll have access to the deck. This is our agenda. I like to think of our agenda as an iceberg. And I mean, you're sharks, you know science. An iceberg, there's a little bit of the iceberg that's above the surface, but the lion's share of the iceberg is below the surface of the water. We're going to talk about the property and the team. That's on the surface, but we're really going to drill down into the business plan. The reason the business plan is important is because that's how we, as your syndicators, as your GPs, how we are going to manage this property and run this property to make money for you. A little bit more about the business plan. We do not do hockey stick business plans. No hockey stick business plans. We're very realistic about the way we approach our properties and the way we approach business. And I'll tell you more about that as we go through the presentation. Let's jump on the property first. This is it. 145 units, Class B asset in Nashville, Tennessee, very attractive. I won't show you a whole lot of photos. It's a garden style property, very attractive. We'll talk more about the location. This is where it is in Nashville. The pin is roughly 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. If you know Nashville, it's near, about 30 minutes from Broadway and the Tennessee Titans Stadium, and roughly 20 minutes from the International Airport. This is what's nearby. The red is our subject property. You've got Kroger, you've got Petco, you've got a medical center there in the blue, you've got Starbucks, you've got a lot of established businesses. That's what we want to see in an area like this. That's what we want to see, because these are employers and these are indicators of stability. Now, let's talk about sources and uses. We are paying $32.2 million for this asset. We're doing about $2.85 million of capital improvements. And here I'm about to point out one of the first examples of our conservative underwriting and our conservative business practices. The loan that we're getting on this property is a 60% loan to value. We're raising $18.2 million and we're getting a loan of just over $19 million on this deal. We're acquiring this in an area where single-family homes are going for over $460,000 per door. Do you say per door for home? $460,000 per home. And we're buying the asset for $222,000 per door. The average monthly rent, or the rent that we're targeting, is $21.81 per month. Annualized, that works out to $26,000. And that's in an area where we have an average annual household income of $94,000, very close to $95,000. So you can see where we want to bump the rents. We are within that 30% threshold that people can afford. Nashville is hot. I'll give you a chance to read this in the deck when we go through it. Bottom line, Nashville is hot. There's a lot of charts and graphs that tell you how that Nashville is hot. I'm going to talk more about the jobs. The number one driver of multifamily value, as you know, as multifamily investors, the number one driver of multifamily value is jobs. And we have a wide variety of jobs here. We have trade and transportation, we have government, we have mining and logging, we have technology, leisure and hospitality. We have strong recession-resistant industries in Nashville. So we have a wide variety of jobs. And because we have that advantage, if there's one industry that suffers a bit, the others are in a position to take up the slack. Job growth in Nashville since 2010, 37.4%. Unemployment, 2.4%. Average household income, we talked about that before, just under $95,000. Oh, I should go back to the slide. Oracle is moving to Nashville. They're bringing 8,500 jobs into Nashville. And when you have a company like Oracle move into a city like Nashville, you don't just get Oracle, but you get all of these supporting businesses that are there to serve Oracle. And here's a list of some of the other companies that are there, the other businesses that are in Nashville that drive job growth. Let's talk next about our team. This is a Zoom call we had last week. Our GP team, we have a wide variety of expertise here. Some people have technical expertise. Some have been in multifamily for a number of years. I myself ran a technology company for 21 years and sold it. Now I'm in multifamily. And we have other people who have really deep business and multifamily experience. I'm going to focus on these few. Scott Holmes is the CEO of Cree Capital, and they're our lead GP in this deal. Scott has been doing commercial real estate deals for over 25 years, and he's done a wide variety of assets. He's done retail, he's done office, he's done industrial, and of course, he's done multifamily. He's done over $6 billion of commercial real estate deals. Rod Cleave is Scott's partner, and Rod and Scott are partners in Cree Capital. You may know Rod Cleave from his podcast. He's also a mentor. He's my mentor, and he's mentor to many of the GPs in this deal. Rod has over 42 years of real estate experience, single family home experience, multifamily experience. He has a wide variety of a wide spectrum of business experience as well, and he's a great mentor on the deal. And then finally, there's me, Ray Hightower, your speaker. I started and ran a technology company for 21 years, built it from scratch, sold it. Now I'm in multifamily, learning as much as I can, interacting with the sharks, doing deals in Arizona. I have over 400 doors in Arizona. That's LP and GP doors here in Arizona. And I'm in Tennessee to acquire 145 more doors. One of our most important partners is our professional property manager. This is Volunteer Property Management. They're based in Nashville, Tennessee. They're outstanding. We made it a point to go out and secret shop their properties to make sure that they are performing in the way we need them to perform. So that's Volunteer. Now let's talk about the business plan, the lion's share of this iceberg. And as I said before, we do not do hockey stick business plans. Rather, we want to know what can go wrong, and we want to know and figure out what we're going to do about it. So we're going to tell you what can go wrong, and we're going to tell you what we're going to do about it. We are conservative in our financing and conservative in our underwriting. Now, everybody says that they're conservative in their underwriting and in the way they do business, but very few people say exactly what they mean when they're calling themselves conservative. This is what we mean. In this deal, we're doing financing at 60% loan to value. 5 years interest only, interest rate 4.67%, 30-year amortization. What that means is that we'll have a debt coverage ratio over 2. Where a lot of multifamily deals have a debt coverage ratio of around 1.3 or 1.25, we're 2+. Conservative underwriting for us means things like when we're calculating our exit cap rate, we do 20 basis points per year rather than 10 basis points per year, which some other underwriters might do. Conservative throughout. So that's what we mean numerically, exactly what we mean when we say conservative. Here's our pro forma. I'm going to ask you to take a look at that in the deck when you review the deck after this presentation, but I do want to point out 2.0 DSCR. And again, another example of conservatism, it's actually 2.23 or so. I'm saying 2.0 plus. We are in the habit of under-promising and over-delivering. That's how we do business. Renovations in the units. This property was built in 1996 and 1997. Nothing has been updated since then, and there's a lot of room to renovate these finishes to bring it at a level, bring it up to a level, a Class A level that we see in this area. We've secret shopped a lot of the deals around there, so we know what needs to be done here. We have a fair idea. Everything from backsplashes, modern paint, light fixtures, vinyl flooring, all of these things. Our exterior upgrades, my goodness, there's a lot of exterior upgrades we're going to do. The leasing office, of course, because that is the first thing that residents see when they're making a decision about renting from the property. We'll upgrade the pool area. We'll add a kitchen to that. We're going to add a playground because this property has all 2, 3, and 4 bedroom units, Because of the size of unit, we're likely to have kids, or we certainly do have kids. So you want to have a playground where the parents know the kids are safe and they can have fun and all of that. And there's some other external additions that we're adding there, but those are the big ones. Now let's talk about the unit mix, 2, 3, and 4 bedroom units. And I would like to call your attention to this particular 2 bedroom unit and this particular 3 bedroom unit. Notice that the square footage is identical. And these are the 2 floor plans, the 2 at the left. And I'll point them out, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom. Now you're multifamily investors. The 2 bedroom at the left has a study with a closet. The 3 bedroom has that same square footage area with a wall and a door and a closet. What happens if you add a wall and a door to that 2 bedroom unit and make it a 3 bedroom unit? All of a sudden, you've increased your NOI. In our calculations, we'll be able to bump the rents in that 2 bedroom unit that becomes a 3 bedroom unit. We'll bump that $300 per unit. $300 per unit times 21 of those units in this configuration, annualize that, throw a cap on that. 5 cap means that we've bumped the value of this property by $1.5 million. 4 cap means we've bumped it by $1.8 million. Sweet opportunity. That's our business plan. This is our list of capital improvements. I would encourage you to take a closer look at this when the deck is available. We're spending $12,400 per door interior and close to $20,000 per door when you consider all of the exterior improvements. Of course, this is the chart that you see in every multifamily presentation, your cash on cash return, your IRR and your AAR, 8 to 10% on cash, 16 to 19% IRR, and 20 to 22% AAR. Now, I would like for you to take a moment and imagine if you had a machine and this machine was designed in such a way that if you put $1 in it, it gives you $2. Every time you put $1 inside of the machine, it pushes out $2 to you. If you had such a machine, how much money would you be willing to put inside of that machine? That's what we have here. Our equity multiple is 2.05. So for a minimum $100,000 investment, you're going to get back $205,000. If you'd like to know more about our assumptions, take a look at the pro forma assumptions that we have in the deck. Now let's go through quickly our FAQs. This is an investment for accredited investors. The minimum is $100,000. And yes, we do take IRAs or self-directed IRAs and 401ks. We're set to close in September of 2022. This is the first day of September. So yeah, at the end of this month, we're on track to do that. We are raising $18.2 million for this acquisition. So far, we've raised over $11 million. So this is going quickly. If you think you're going to do this, I would encourage you to move forward rapidly. We're coming towards the end of our presentation, so let me wrap it up. Our agenda is the iceberg that we presented at the very beginning. We went through the property and the team on the surface, and we dove down deeper to get to the meat of the iceberg, the lion's share of the iceberg, the business plan. Now that you're ready to invest, I encourage you to go to invest.bridgetownpartners.com. You can sign up for the portal. You'll be able to read and sign the documents, wire your investment, and collect your profits. Thank you, Sharks.
Outstanding. Hey, Ray, do you mind putting the information in the chat, your link as well?
Yes, I'll throw that in the chat. Yes.
Outstanding.
And Ray, would you mind showing the assumption slide one more time?
Yes. Give me a second. I'm typing. So that's in the chat. And let me go back. Shoot, let me do this.
That looks nice. I like that.
Oh,
yeah, thanks.
Man.
Yeah, that's
go ahead, man. So let's Tesla story now. Tesla story got to come up now.
The Tesla story. I talk about my Tesla all the time. I got it almost 2 years ago. I have almost 60,000. I have over 60,000 miles on that car. I drive a lot. I drove to Tennessee to walk this asset. I've driven to Texas. I live in Arizona, by the way. I've driven to Michigan to go camping with my scouts. I'm very active in the Boy Scouts of America. I grew up in a Boy Scout troop. My brother and I and my parents were very involved with this. And so, yeah, so yeah, I'm a very big fan of Tesla and just the engineering and the maintenance, and I don't stop talking about it. And yes, the plate says ROI. I'm very serious about ROI because we deliver on that. And if you want to talk about Tesla, we can. My partners tease me about it. They say I don't shut up about it, but I will do it. Perry loves Tesla too. Yes, Perry. I know that's why you're awesome. All right. So yeah, we can talk about that, but let's talk about this deal in Nashville, Tennessee.
All right, let me do it real quick. Hold on. Sorry, real quick. Let me do my thing real quick. So first, we gotta applaud you. So first, I give you great job, my good man. Thank you.
Oh, I can see you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So you should be able to do you should be able to do the gallery view.
Yes, I'm in gallery view now. Thank you.
No worries.
Awesome.
All
So
right,
I have a couple of questions. Who is local to Nashville? Who will be visiting the property on a regular basis?
Yeah, we have multiple people who are visiting. The two key people who are our primary contacts, the people who acquired the asset, are Michael Whiteley and Sam Frower.
And how far do they live from Nashville?
They do not live in Nashville. They are very active in acquiring in Nashville, but they do not live in Nashville.
So they have other properties there?
Yes, they do have other properties there. Sam and Michael have other properties in Nashville. Scott has acquired properties in Nashville since the 90s, and he lives here in Arizona where I live. Tim has a property in Nashville. So out of our GP team, out of the 9 people I showed you on the GP team, 4 of us have properties in Nashville right now. So they're regularly there.
That local knowledge is very important. And your property management company also?
Yes, the property.
In other properties of similar vintage?
Oh, yes. I could tell you stories about Volunteer. We went and we physically secret shopped their other properties right there in Nashville. And they are managing Class A properties right there. So they are ideal.
I know it's a fantastic location, so I have no questions about the location. That was excellent.
Yes.
Nashville is a great location, and you've got all the other things like Starbucks, etc., proximity. What is the median household income there? Because the average is different from the median.
Yes, average and median are 2 different things. I don't have that number. Can I email you with that?
Yeah, I just wanted to explain the difference between the 2 numbers. I could have.
I know the difference, but yeah, okay. I'll send that to you. Yeah.
Yeah, the reason for the question is if you have 24 households with 80K or 60K as income, and then one person moves in like a millionaire, that'll completely skew that. So that's why we asked. But I'm sure that's an affluent neighborhood. I just like to clarify that. It's in my checklist.
Both numbers are important. It tells you if you have a lopsided distribution or if you have a real Poisson distribution. So yeah.
What's the economic vacancy for year 1?
Year 1, we're figuring 26% economic vacancy in year 1.
That's a good number. That's a pretty conservative number.
Yes.
So when you convert these 2 bedrooms to 3 bedrooms, which is a great idea, the first time you'll take over this property, let's say, is end of September. So with a 60-day notice, it'll be end of November before you have access to those units. And I assume this conversion is not something you could do on an occupied unit, right? You'd have to have the tenant move out. So how long do you anticipate converting these 21 units?
We're doing that over 12 months. Our entire CapEx if you look at our business plan, our entire CapEx takes place over 24 months.
Okay. So 12 to 24 months is when you will realize this. Okay.
Yes.
Those were the main questions I had, besides seeing the actual underwriting itself before I invest in a deal.
Yeah, I would absolutely share that with. Thank you for that. And if you have any other questions, I know your knowledge level. We've talked before, so I welcome any questions you have or any observations. So yeah.
Outstanding. Thank you so much. So overall, I say you need more information. So it's good. Good deal. Next up, Mr. Irish Kevin, talk to me.
Yeah, let's go. Let's throw some chum in the water. Beat Ray up here. Hey Ray, I like your analogy there about the cash machine, but if I put $1 in, I want to get $3. All right. So let's see how else we can get some amenities in there and raise some cash.
Yes.
Like, I don't know, did you mention anything about covered parking at all, or little patios, fenced yards, anything like that?
We don't mention it, but there's some opportunity to bump things up in terms of parking. There's plenty of space where we can build additional garages. There's place where we could build additional apartment units. There's a lot of that going on. And I didn't mention that here, but some of those, and it'll be interesting to hear what the Sharks think about this, but some of those we consider to be meat on the bone for the next buyer.
Okay, so I know it's not in the CapEx, but these are things I like to see. Like I want to see how these sponsors are going to create more cash flow for their investors, you know?
Right, right.
As I know, like a lot of these recent deals, a lot of these people, like I was on a call 2 days ago to saying, we're not paying any distributions until we have a capital event. And I'm like, well,
No.
who the hell's that going to happen? You know? So it could be 4 or 5 years down the road. It's like some of these deals that I'm seeing now, it's like they're getting tighter and tighter. So
Right, right.
you know, I want to see to make sure that these jockeys are trying to raise as much money out of these properties. Like squeeze that, you know, squeeze that sponge, you know?
Yeah. You know what I would suggest, Kevin, if you like, we can get together on a call and go through the underwriting together and go through the business plan together. Same thing I would do with Sandhya. I know both of you, your backgrounds, and yeah, I would gladly get on a call and we can go through and do that squeeze as you suggest.
Yeah. As far as 220 a door, like I don't have any sales comps to go on. I didn't see any comps in your presentation. So can you just give us a quick synopsis on that one?
Yeah, they are higher. I mean, we find a lot that are higher there. We are seeing properties in the high 200s, low 300s. It really depends on what class it is and all of that. I could gather all of that together and share it with you. The challenge, of course, with doing a presentation like this is fitting within the 15 minutes. But if you want more details on sales comps, exactly what's going on there, I can certainly share that with you.
So Ray,
So-
if you want to, I can share the whole pitch deck for the whole entire audience so they can reach out to you.
Yes, you know what? If you go to that invest.bridgetownpartners.com, I will upload that pitch deck to that location. You'll be able to get it there, and
Outstanding.
you'll have the pitch deck right there. And anything else that you want in terms of additional sales comps, we have walked every relevant unit in the area, all of the competing units in the area to create our own rental comps as well. We don't just rely on data that comes to us via email, but we've actually done our own secret shopping. So yeah, I would gladly talk to you about all of that.
Yeah. So to tear you apart even more, I'd have to see like, you know, the sales comps, the rent comps, that way I can make a better decision on where that property sits as far as the eco level. Like, you know, I know it's a class B, you're saying, so 220 a door seems kind of steep for class B, but I understand it's like maybe B plus. If it's a 96, you're gonna do a lot of CapEx. So
Yes.
you know, I can grant you that, but I still want to see the numbers. Outside of that, I see the low LTV, the 5 years IO, but you know, what happens at the 5 years? Is that a balloon payment?
After 5 years, we are paying it. It's amortized. After 5 years, it's amortized. The balloon doesn't come until year 10.
So it's a 10-year term.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I want to see. Like when I just see
Yes.
5 year, it's like, all right, I fell off the cliff and now we got to pay, you know, $32 million because it's interest only, right? So
Yeah.
I want to know what the options are after year 5.
Right. Yeah, that's where it begins to amortize. Yeah.
Okay, so it's an IO for 5 years.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. And the rent to income seems, you know, fairly low, but the exact numbers on the rents right now, I need to see some rent comps again.
Mm-hmm.
The breakdown, like the ratio of the bedrooms, it appears like there's no 1 bedrooms at all.
No 1 bedrooms at all. Yes.
So in the 2 bedrooms too, they look kind of like minimal, like as far as how many they are.
Yeah.
So-
There are. This is an area where 3 bedrooms seem to be in demand. When we went out and secret shopped the competing units, there are waiting lists for 3 bedrooms in that area.
Okay, so that kind of answers my question. Like I'm thinking, all right, there's no 1 bedrooms. Now there's going to be less 2 bedrooms if you do that CapEx.
Yeah.
Going over to more 3 bedrooms. So if I go in there looking for 1 or 2 bedroom and you're telling me I got to pay rent for a three bedroom, I'm like, see you later. I'm going down the street, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Well, you're
that's-
right. We'll have fewer 2 bedrooms and more 3 bedrooms and more money.
yeah, so I just want to know the marketability of the property itself as far
Yeah.
as, you know, so if you're telling me there's a great demand for 3 and 4 bedrooms, then I just have to take your word for it.
That's what we didn't see as much of a demand for 4 bedrooms. We see some reason 3 bedroom is a sweet spot in there, but not as much of a demand for 4 bedrooms when we rent around the community. But for some reason, people want to rent 3 bedroom units there in that area.
Yeah, well, maybe they might use the other, bedroom for an office or, they might
Yes.
be doing massages on the side. I'll keep that low, but I think anyway, back to business here.
Yes.
All right, I know Sandy already talked about the volunteer properties, so that's 3%, right? You're paying them, right?
Yes. Yeah. For their fee. Yes. Yes.
3%, that's pretty
Mhm.
typical. On the pro forma, I noticed like the taxes are pretty much streamlined all the way through.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about the taxes. In this county, in Tennessee, the assessment happens every 4 years. It happened last year. So if you notice in the pro forma, those first 3 years, the taxes are identical for those, not the first 4 years, the first 3 years of our pro forma, the taxes are identical. So yeah, we've got that under control because that's the way it's done in that municipality.
So were you able to underwrite, knowing that the taxes are probably going to go up?
Yes, we do show an increase in taxes after that, after those first 3 years. But by then we're done with our CapEx. We're done with the things that are very expensive, and we've bumped rents by then.
Okay, so what's the occupancy right now?
Occupancy right now, it's over 95%.
95. So you got to
Yeah.
turn those units like pretty quick within, because you're doing all of them, right? So you're talking 2 years.
Yep, 2 years, yes.
145 divided by 24. Yeah, so you got some work to do. So I guess it just depends on how much turnover you're going to have right away to get these things done.
Yes, we expect that. But you know what? We've got a really experienced team for this. We have really experienced asset managers on our GP team, especially when you look at Rod Cleef and Scott Holmes. And you've got a great boots on the ground management team and volunteer.
So who are you going to bring in as a contractor?
We have, you know what? I don't know who our GC is. When we did due diligence, we walked through with multiple subcontractors with electrical, plumbing, concrete, roofing, painting, and all of that. I don't remember right now who our GC is, but if you want to know that, I can find that out for you.
Yeah, I mean, you got to know like where they're from, like how much, experience they have in that area.
Yeah.
How long
I trust my GPs on that. I don't know that off the top of my head, but we were extremely thorough on the due diligence. We had multiple subcontractors with us from all of the relevant areas of specialization.
Are the GPs getting like a piece of the GC like work being done as far as like a management fee, like a 5%, 6%, if that's built in?
You know what? That happens. There's an asset management fee. There's an acquisition fee. I don't recall if there's an override on the GC fee for the GPs. I don't remember that off the top of my head.
Okay, I just want to see like if you have it and then how it's built into the.
Yeah.
So
but I can find that out for you.
So now that you brought up fees, what's the acquisition fee?
Acquisition fee, 3%.
3, that's kind of steep. Norm's usually 1 to 2. Asset management is what?
Asset management is 2%.
And then what about exit fee? Any?
We have no exit fee. We have no capital event fee. I should tell you know what, since we're talking about capital events, let me tell you how we're doing this. Our loan includes, defeasance or what's the other name? Prepayment penalty. There's another word, yield maintenance. And so rather than wipe that loan out when we do our capital event, we'll do a supplemental loan. The loan term does, the terms of the loan, the paperwork on the loan does allow us to do a supplemental loan. So we will not trigger an event where we get a fee for doing a refi or anything like that, but that will be an opportunity to give equity back to our limited partners.
Okay, and then so going in, what's the cap rate going in?
Cap rate, it's I want to say 4 cap rate. I have to look at that. Let me look at that. I don't remember that off the top of my head.
Because I'm seeing like an NOI like 2 million with the purchase price of 32, right?
Yes.
So I'm looking at like a 6% cap rate. I don't know if I'm wrong or if that's.
Let me verify that. I don't want to guess. If I know something, I'll tell you. If I don't know, I'll say I don't know, and I'll find out.
What about like what you underwrite for a cap rate going out? Do you have any numbers?
You know what? We're thinking that it would be 4 or 5, somewhere in there. That's the range that we're looking at for our exit cap.
Okay. So I just want to see how it's played like year to year as far as going on down the schedule. And then you got like an 8 to 10% cash on cash.
Yes.
But it shows like a 7% preferred return to investors.
Yes.
But the first couple of years you're looking at 5 to 6 and then 7 to 9. So what happens between my 7% pref and the 8 to 10? Like, is there a catch up on the first? After
there is catch up. Yes.
All right, but then is that when the 50% kicks in for the profit split?
After the 7%, that's where the 50-50 split kicks in.
So normally you're going to see an 80-20, 70-30, right?
It's funny. I never know how to respond when I hear the word normal. I mean, different deals, and certainly you have a lot more experience in this field than I do. My business experience is in technology, and I don't really know what the word normal means. I know that we're offering a lot of benefits, in terms of our conservative underwriting, in terms of our experience, in terms of what we're delivering, the reliability of the cash flow coming back, the reliability of the distribution. So I don't really know what normal means. It's like the discussion we had with Sandy about the difference between median and average, So yeah, I've seen other deals that are like that, though. I've certainly seen.
Well, I've seen a lot of deals like the last 5 years. So for me, like normal is kind of like, it's either 80-20, 70-30. I've seen some, 60-40, but this is the first one I've seen. It's like, I guess it looks like 50-50, I guess.
Yeah, it is 50-50. And you know what? Certainly, you've seen a lot more deals than I have in the past. During the time when you were doing real estate, I was doing technology. So you've seen a lot more deals like that. The difference here is if you look at how we're underwriting this, and if you look at our business plan, I would say there's a great deal of reliability and dependability in that return coming back to you. And I think that's worth something too.
So I'm going to say to you, Ray, is use your technology to squeeze some more money from me.
Yes. All right.
And I'm going to ask you one more.
I'll do that. Kevin, I would love to do that.
I'm going to ask you one more question because I could keep asking for another half hour. But the $60,000 question, when does distribution start for us investors?
I'm sorry, can you say that again? When
do the distributions start on the deal?
Distributions, we'll start those within 6 months. Okay. 6 months is when we start distributions, and then they're quarterly.
Okay, I'm done because I got 30% of my list left, but I'm getting late here, and DC is going to shut me off, and I'm running out of chum.
Thank you so much, Kevin. It's a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
Great presentation. Nice deal. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, outstanding. So now our next port. So Ray, you do have some questions in the chat. So feel free to go through that if you want to. But I did put a link in the chat as well. I would love to hear your feedback about how to make the show better as well, and your feedback about the show. Our next portion is our breakout room. But before you go, I'm going to show you how to do it. So Ray will be in the first room, so you can ask some questions directly. So that way to say we be mindful of time. So that way you can see how to do it. And you will see how, let me see here. Let me share the screen real quick. And this is how you able to, if you look here, you will see that you able to change your breakout rooms by yourself. So you won't need me to change the breakout room for you. We will see y'all next week, but Ray will be in room number 1, so feel free to ask some questions directly. Ray, you got a question already for you?
Yeah, I'm ready to answer whatever questions are here. So yeah.
Oh, wait, if anybody, does anybody want to unmute himself right now? I will give that option. You raise your hand real quick. I can unmute y'all.
What's the penalty, prepayment penalty? Is it yield maintenance or step down?
It's yield maintenance.
Okay, so at year 5, let's say that is your current plan to exit at the end of year 5 when the IO term ends, what is going to be the amount you will be paying as prepayment?
I don't have that off the top of my head.
It usually
Yeah,
is a
fine.
large amount. If it's
Yeah.
yield maintenance, it's in the millions rather
Yes.
than in the hundreds of thousands.
Right.
So for example, I have a step down prepay on one of my loans and it goes like a 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3 kind of thing. So year 5, I would be in that 3. So I'd have to pay 3% of the loan amount. So if
Mhm.
my loan is, 24 million or 20 million or whatever, I would be paying 3% of that.
Right.
Good deal. Mr. Mitson, you got a question, Mr. Mitson? The music man, what's going on?
How's it going?
How you been?
Hey, I gotta come back to service. I hate to miss one.
Come back to church. Come on back,
Yes,
brother.
sir.
What's your
Thank
question,
you for
good
the
man?
Presentation, Mr. Hightower.
Thank you,
I did
sir.
have a question about your business plan to create, more value by closing off the study and
Yes.
making it into a room. How does that compare to other 3-bedrooms in the area? Would that be smaller than other 3-bedrooms?
Oh yeah, that's a really good question. We secret shopped other 3-bedrooms and it's comparable. It's comparable. That's what's that? Yeah, this is comparable square footage. And those other 3-bedrooms in the area all have waiting lists. So there's demand.
Okay. That was my question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good deal. Well, thank you all. Oh, he will be in the first breakout room, so y'all can talk to him more. And I show you that I'll see you all in the breakout room. See y'all next week.
Hey, thank you, Shark Pool community. Thank you for this. Thanks
Ray,
for the
one more
opportunity.
time. Put your
Excellent
Ray one
presentation,
time.
Ray.
Ray one time. Put your information in the chat so everybody can get your information. Okay.
Yes. Yep. Here we go.